Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents exclusive NCAA Division III men's basketball coverage. Tonight's CUNYAC matchup features the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island taking on the Hawks of Hunter College. Good evening, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, joined by Mike Babuski, bringing you all the action live from center court during tonight's game. And Mike, the Dolphins are coming off of a tough stretch. They lost 4 straight games now, though they were awarded a win by forfeit against York College. That game was played on January 27th. A lot has gone wrong for the Dolphins during that stretch. What needs to change tonight for them to get back on the winning track?
Well, you know, Joe, the team has really been struggling offensively for the last several games, and those offensive struggles have bled over a little bit into the defensive side as well. So, you know, the Dolphins need to come out. They got a very big break with that game against York College being decided in the Dolphin favor now, as York College was forced to forfeit that game, and that puts the Dolphins back in sole possession of second place, a game ahead of Baruch and 2 games ahead of Hunter. But just like the ladies' Dolphins, the men's team, 3 tough games remaining. Hunter tonight, Brooklyn on the road Thursday, and then finishing the season against Lehman College. So a lot of work remaining for the CSI Dolphins, Joe, on the men's side.
This is a big game for both Hunter and Staten Island. Right now, the CUNYAC standings are as follows. Lehman on top at 12-1, Staten Island at 10-3, followed by Baruch at 8-4, and Hunter at 7-5. That rounds out the top 4 spots. Hunter with a chance to remain in the top 4 should they win out. That could begin here tonight. The Dolphins, of course, would love to secure a top 2 position, and they could go a very long way toward doing that with a win tonight. And I'm looking at the screen here, and I think a win tonight would clinch it, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on that, but I think with 11 wins, that should be enough to keep the Dolphins in one of those top 2 positions. So we'll see how it plays out down the stretch, but nonetheless, a big game for the Dolphins. And I think a good place to look for what the Dolphins can do here tonight to come away with a victory is their last matchup against this same Hunter College Hawks team. In that game, it was an 89-76 Dolphins victory. Huge games for Adeola Latunji and Christian Taylor. Latunji with 27 points. That was one of the first games where he really came on and established himself as the go-to offensive option for this Dolphins team. But as the women's team has a 1A and a 1B, so does the men's team. Christian Taylor also with a great game in this one. He had 19 points on 7 of 15. Latunji and Taylor also combined for 10 of 11 from the free throw line. Overall, the team shot the ball well, 48% from the field and 35% from beyond the arc, to go along with 78% shooting from the free throw line. So a strong effort in that game for the Dolphins with that victory over Hunter College.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, you mentioned what do the Dolphins need to do, and one of the things they need to do is to find a way to get Adeola Latunji back on track offensively. He had a series of games where he scored more than 20 points, but you go back to the loss against Mega Evers, he was just 2 of 13 from the floor, finishing with just 5 points in that game. And then in their 2-point loss to Cabrini over the weekend, Adeola was just 5 of 14 from the field and finished with just 10 points. So they needed to find a way to get Latunji back on track. And you know, one of the things that happens a lot, Joe, especially in your first year in Division III play, is you wear down a little bit as the season goes on, and I think that's one of the things that have affected Latunji here in the second half of the season.
Well, speaking of wearing down, I think going back to that game against Hunter for just a moment, you could see the Dolphins wear down just a bit in this game. A big first half for CSI in that first matchup with Hunter. They won the first half 51-32. However, in the second half, they were outscored 44-38. The Dolphins in the second half of that game still shot 43% from the field, but only 25% from beyond the arc, 2 of 8, 60% from the line, down from 78 overall in the game. They also committed 9 turnovers. And for Hunter College in that second half, they increased their shooting percentage up to 60% in half number 2 and shot nearly 45% from beyond the arc. So a big second half for Hunter College in that game. The Dolphins need to try and avoid a similar letdown in the second half here tonight. Of course, in that first game, they built a big enough lead where it didn't matter, but we saw the Hunter College women's team really come bearing down on the Dolphins late in that second half, cut it to within 10, or I should say late in that third quarter, cut the lead to 10, but the Dolphins were able to stave off the Hawks rally and come away with the victory. Hopefully for the men, they can close out the second half much stronger than they did in their first matchup against Hunter.
Yeah, and we should mention, just like on the ladies' side, it's senior day for the men. Edith Bracic and Raymond Savage, the two seniors for the Dolphins here, so they'll be honored in just a couple of minutes in the pregame show before the opening tip. And for us here, Joe, at CSI Sportsnet, should the Dolphins be able to hold on and get a bye into the Nat Holman Gymnasium, this will be our final men's basketball broadcast of the season, as we've just found out that we will not have coverage of the CUNYAC tournament, either the semifinals or the finals. So another nice job by the university not allowing us to cover it, and the joke that is.
Well, of course, we're unhappy that we're unable to cover any CUNYAC tournament basketball this year. Had a lot of fun heading out on the road for the women's semifinal matchup last year. We broadcasted that game from the top row of the bleachers there at the Nat Holtzman Gymnasium, and that was a game that the Dolphins won. I believe it was a win over Lehman College in that semifinals matchup, a women's game that you and I broadcasted from CCNY. This year, unfortunately, we won't have that type of coverage, but hopefully the men can close out their season here on CSI Sportsnet strong with a conference victory here tonight and solidify their position in the top two spots in the CUNYAC conference.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there'll be any coverage of all of the semifinals, and there'll just be some other broadcasters doing the finals for the CUNYAC tournament. So no college representatives on campus for the CUNYAC tournament. Nice job by the conference.
And that's very unfortunate, and that's the extent to which I will speak about that. I'm not involved in that process, of course. I'm just the messenger, as you are here on the air. We weren't involved in that. So hopefully things change next year and we can bring you more CUNYAC basketball coverage beyond the regular season and in the CUNYAC tournament as the clock hits 0, and we will begin our senior day presentations for the men's basketball team. We will step aside, Mike and I, of course, keeping the mics hot for you so you can hear the presentation. Once again, it's David Pizzuto on public address, bringing you the 2017-2018 men's basketball senior day presentation.
Features the men of Hunter College taking on your CSI Dolphins. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, tonight is senior night at CSI. We'd like to first take a brief moment to honor our pair of CSI seniors tonight who are making their final home game appearance for the Dolphins. We ask that you turn your attention to the area in front of the CSI bench and the scorer's table as head coach TJ Tibbs and assistants JC Albano, Nick Duran, Abraham Akanmu, and Oren McKay Jr. are joined alongside CSI Athletic Director Charles Gomes and CSI President Dr. William Fritz. Together with members of the team, they get set to honor their two seniors. Our first senior has had an abridged career with the Dolphins, coming to CSI only last year by way of Misericordia College. After appearing in only 10 contests last year in an abbreviated role, his senior leadership this year has been heavily called upon. He's appeared in all 22 of CSI's games this season, sporting 14 starts, averaging 7.1 points per contest. This season, he is second on the squad with 34 three-pointers, connecting on 37% from downtown. His ability to make the big shot at a crucial moment in the game or a key defensive stop has had him be a fixture in the lineup during critical moments of games. More so than even his numbers, ask the coaches and they'll tell you that it is his lead-by-example style and his dedication to do whatever is necessary to contribute to the greater cause that is instrumental to the team's success this season. No doubt, as the season moves towards its conclusion, they know that he will factor into the equation on CSI's title defense, one they hope ends in another championship, the second in as many years for this senior. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome senior number 30, Ray Savage. Ray will be presenting flowers to his family. Congratulations, Ray, and congratulations to the Savage family. Ray will also be presented with a commemorative frame courtesy of CSI Athletics. And as they take photos, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's hear it for Ray Savage. Ladies and gentlemen, our second and final senior obviously needs little introduction as he is the only four-year senior on the squad. One who has been an instrumental force for the Dolphins since he was a CUNY Rookie of the Year candidate in 2014-15. He has followed that up with being one of CSI's sharpest shooters, connecting on a career mark of 184 three-point baskets, tied for the fifth most in CSI history, helping him to over 800 career points. But this senior's calling card is his defense, and last year he was voted as the conference's Defensive Player of the Year. He has collected over 250 career defensive rebounds with 85 career block shots, good for ninth highest in CSI history, with 159 career steals, good for eighth all time. On top of the gaudy numbers comes the incredible work ethic both on and off the court. He is often the first to hit the floor for a loose ball, the first to smother a ball handler in the open court, and the first to cheer on one of his teammates when he gets a breath on the bench. His selfless style of play and leadership has translated well to others, and that is evidenced by his nomination for the CUNYAC's All Sportsmanship Award, a team he was recognized to last year as well. As the Dolphins make their playoff push, look for all of those qualities to take center stage, and look for him to be a big part of the cause. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for four-year senior, number 4, Ed. Ed will be presenting flowers to his parents, and he's also asked his former coach, Tony Petoza, to join him at half court for pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Eden is receiving a commemorative frame courtesy of the athletic department and gifts from his teammates. Once again, let's have a round of applause for both of our seniors tonight, Ray Savage and Eden Brachich. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank tonight's officials at the Hunter College Hawks for their patience. And at this time, it's now time to get our contest underway. Let's meet tonight's starters.
And we're back here on CSI Sportsnet live from the tank as we get set to get underway here tonight in this CUNYAC men's basketball matchup between the Dolphins and the Hawks of Hunter College. As the starters are introduced on the floor, my broadcast partner, Mike Ibuski, has those starters for you.
Thanks a lot, Joe. First for the visiting Hawks, 0, Danny Fusco. Number 12, George Kina. Number 14, Gio Gabadon. Number 20, Matt Franks. And number 24, Amir Lukac. For the College of Staten Island, it'll be the starting five that we've gotten used to seeing in the last few games. Number 2, Adeola Latunji. Number 23, Christian Taylor. Number 1, Stephen Flagg. Number 3, Eden Brachich. And number 31, Rob Rossiter.
And we spoke about it during that brief timeout. Mike, you had some keys to the game, areas where you think the Dolphins need to excel here tonight to come away with the victory. Mike, what are your keys to the game?
Well, you know, we mentioned in the pregame show a little bit, Adeola Latunji struggling a little bit offensively. Dolphins really need him on the offensive end, Joe, to really get the offense going. And when he's not really performing up to par, the team really can struggle to score offensively. The second thing is the Dolphins now getting out-rebounded on the year need to find a way to rebound the basketball here against Hunter College. And finally, avoid turnovers. The Dolphins had done such a good job earlier in the season avoiding turnovers. Lately, a few more turnovers, something head coach C.J. Tibbs, Joe, is certainly going to want to avoid.
And I see two recurring themes from the women's game, rebounding the basketball and avoiding turnovers. So often, a game comes down to those two things. When we saw last game, both teams shot the ball very poorly, It was the Dolphins who won the rebounding battle, and though both teams committed a lot of turnovers, it was the Dolphins who knocked down slightly more of their shots from the outside, which propelled them to victory in that game. A game, as I said, in which both teams did not protect the ball and shot it very poorly. The Dolphins, the men's team, I should say, hopes to avoid doing the same as the women's team here tonight, as I'm sure the women's team can't be happy with their effort in that game, though they did come away with the victory. A big win for them as they look to solidify a top 2 spot in the CUNYAC Conference. A huge matchup for the women looming against Brooklyn College. That game coming up on Thursday. But before that, the men have a matchup here tonight with the Hunter College Hawks. The men also hit the road this week for a pair of conference matchups as well. Beyond tonight's game, those 2 conference matchups the same as those for the women. Brooklyn College on Thursday, Lehman College on Saturday. The men's schedule wraps up after Saturday. The women return home for one final, more recently scheduled game against Yeshiva University.
And we should mention, Joe, the Dolphins coming off of a tough 2-point loss over the weekend against Cabrini, a very strong Cabrini team. The Dolphins played great in that game, coming back in the second half before dropping a heartbreaking 76-74 final decision in that game. A game the Dolphins played very well in, and Christian Taylor led all Dolphins in scoring with 24 points on 10 of 15 shooting.
And we're about set to tip off. And the Hawks win the tip, but it ends up with Rob Rossiter, so the Dolphins will possess the ball first. Christian Taylor has it, top of the arc, dribbles to his right. Bounce pass inside to Rossiter, looking for Latunji. That ball over Latunji's head. And Bracic able to knock the ball off of a Hawks player. Swats it off the leg of Gabadon, so the Dolphins will inbound.
Good hustle play there by Bracic. Dolphins will maintain possession with 16 to shoot.
Flag will inbound. Finds Latunji. Bracic puts up the 3. And that 3-pointer is good. So a good start for the senior sharpshooter for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and when the senior sharpshooter is hitting his shots, Joe, it really opens things up on the inside. They could use a big game out of Bracic here tonight.
3 quick points for Edin Bracic. Lukacs swings it up top to Fusco. Fusco gets it back from Franks, kicks it into the corner, then swung up to the wing. 3-point attempt by Gabadon, and he knew that was good as soon as he put it up. He turned around and started heading back up the court.
Yeah, you can see it right from here too, Joe. So good start for both teams. 3-3 to score.
Taylor defended by Fusco. Flag has it now, surveys the floor, swings it over to Bracic. Bracic hands off to Latunji, who gives it up to Flag. Taylor has it, defended by Gabadon, gives it up to Bracic, who puts up another 3, no good. Tipped up in the air by Latunji. Taylor had it for a moment, but it's Keener who comes away with it for the Hawks. Gabadon defended by Flag. Gives it up to Franks. Lukacs on the drive. That shot altered nicely by the Dolphins defense. They come away with the loose ball. Flag hands off to Bracic. Thought about the 3. Latunji drives. Kicks out to Rossiter. He does put up the 3. That shot off the left rim. No good. Rebounded by Gabadon.
So 3 offensive possessions. 3 3-point attempts for the Dolphins.
Gabadon dribbles to his right. Lukacs looking. Bounce pass over to Franks. Defended by Rossiter. Franks kicks to the corner. Fake by Keener, who drives. Nothing but air on that layup attempt. Rebounded by Flag. Rossiter transition 3-pointer is good.
So the Dolphins now 2 of 4 from the 3-point line.
Good transition offense there from the Dolphins, getting the ball up the floor quickly. They've also done a good job intimidating Hawks shooters around the rim. Franks has it. Hands off to Gabadon. He drives to his right. Leaves his feet. Passes to the left corner. 3-point attempt by Fusco. No good. Rebounded by Flag. And Flag stripped from behind by Fusco, who just attempted the corner 3. Good hustle play by Danny Fusco. Gabadon has it. Defended by Flag on the right wing. He's looking inside. Can't find anyone. Swings it to the left corner. Keener back up to Gabadon. 10 on the shot clock. Gabadon looking to work against Flag. He's stripped. And jump ball is the call. Possession arrow favors Hunter.
Nice play that time by Stephen Flagg as he turned the ball over on the offensive end, but then forces the jump ball possession. But like you say, Joe, the possession remains with Hunter, but they just have 4 to shoot.
Gabadon will inbound. Finds Keener inside, puts up a wild shot, comes away with the rebound, but then has the ball knocked away from him. Taylor looking to run, and that's an offensive foul.
Boy, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, Joe. It looked like that time Fusco kind of just got himself right under the feet of the Dolphins player, that time driving into the basket, and that was Christian Taylor, who gets charged with his first.
So possession back to the Hawks, score 6-3 early in the first half. Franks with his back to the basket, drives to his left. He's double teamed, nice fake. Turnaround jump shot by Franks is good. Nice move in the post by Matt Franks.
As that time, a good defensive play that time by Hunter as they tried to keep the ball in play, but Fusco steps on the end line, so the Dolphins will get to inbound.
This Hunter men's team applying some pressure against this men's Dolphins team. We saw that in the last game, the Hunter women putting pressure on the CSI women as Taylor puts up the jump shot from in close and knocks it down.
So Taylor gets his first basket of the game. Dolphins lead by 3.
Nice step back jumper from in close. Not often you see that kind of shot taken from that deep in the painted area. Fusco has it, dribbles to his left and pulls it back out. Gives it up to Franks, who hands it back off to Fusco. Fusco gets by Taylor, puts one up. That might have been partially blocked. Either way, the shot was altered. As Fusco attacks the basket aggressively, goes up with another wild shot. Dolphins come away with the rebound. Latunji to Rossiter in the corner, fires the 3 and knocks it down.
Yeah, so Rossiter doesn't hesitate there, Joe. He's got 6.
Strong start for the Dolphins from beyond the arc. 3 of 5 from three-point range. And a good defensive play by Taylor, tips the ball away. One man to beat, hangs up in the air, and a putback dunk by Adeola Latunji off the Taylor miss. Good defensive play by George Keener to force Taylor into a tough shot, but Latunji with the follow-up jam.
Yeah, so head coach John Peelan has seen enough here as he takes a timeout, and the Dolphins find themselves opening up an 8-point lead here, Joe, on Hunter College, 13-5. The Dolphins have scored the last 7 points.
As we get a look at that last play, Taylor in transition puts up the layup attempt, but Latunji follows the missed shot and throws it back down. Not the most emphatic dunk we've seen from Adeola, but definitely one that energized this building. And this building is packed here tonight. You only see the fans seated across from our camera, but in front of our camera, it is a full house. Very little space to find a seat on this side of the court. As we get another look at that last play in slow motion. Good hustle there by Keener to get back, chase down Christian Taylor, but Latunji with great hustle as well for the Dolphins. And the putback dunk gives CSI an 8-point lead. Matt Stroud checked in following that last timeout. It's Gabadon on the drive, and Bracic can't believe that foul call as he thought he had a clean block, and indeed the foul is called against Eden Bracic, his first.
Yeah, the bodies have been banging back and forth on both sides, and that time Bracic gets called for the foul. So Gabadon will go to the line here to shoot 2.
His free throw is short.
He's a 56% free throw shooter. You have an opportunity to look at that replay and see Bracic's reaction. He didn't like the call.
Bracic didn't like it, but it wasn't clear that he got only ball on that replay. Tough to tell. Hand is part of the ball in some situations as the second free throw is good. Dolphins lead now 7. Dolphins looking to set something up here as they consulted the bench for a moment. Bracic kicks out to Flagg. Fires a 3 from a step or 2 beyond the arc. It's no good.
And Flagg's another player, Joe, that's been struggling offensively. Dolphins really need him to get back on track as well.
And that's Keener on the drive. He draws the foul. Count the basket as well. As the foul will be charged to Rob Rossiter, his first. Keener drove into heavy traffic there, Mike.
Yeah, he did, and he drew the foul, and the Dolphins with 3 team fouls already here in the first half, none for the Hawks, as we're going to have our first substitutions for the Dolphins.
It will be Jade Spencer and Ray Savage replacing Rob Rossiter and Stephen Flagg. When that whistle blew, Mike, I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't even anticipate a shot coming up.
Yeah, so we have an opportunity to see that replay as we see the foul called and the 3-point play completed by Hunter.
Strong finish there by George Keener, converts the and one, hits the free throw. Dolphins lead trimmed to 4. Savage has a wide open 3 from the top of the arc, and he connects.
Dolphins hot from the outside to start the game here tonight.
Both Ray Savage and Edin Bracic, 2 of the premier 3-point shooters on this Dolphins team. They've both connected from beyond the arc, as has Rob Rossiter in this game. Ball swung up top to Collins. He gives it up to Keener with 13 on the shot clock. Keener not going anywhere with it, defended by Bracic. Bounce pass inside, not handled cleanly by Blair. Keener puts up the floater and finishes over Jade Spencer. A nice floater there by George Keener.
Beautiful shot by Keener late in the shot clock to cut the Dolphin lead back down to 5.
Keener's shown some good finishing ability these last couple of possessions for the Hawks. Savage has it now for the Dolphins. Good bounce pass over to Spencer. And that one rattles in for Jade Spencer off the feed from Savage.
Good start offensively for Jade. His first basket. Dolphin lead back to 7.
Savage very good at using his eyes to direct the defense away from the intended target on his passes. He did so there as the Dolphins force a turnover, tipping that ball off of a Hawks player. Looks like it was off of Stroud. He can't believe it.
Great play that time by Edin Bracic, and head coach TJ Tibbs pretty excited about it as well there, Joe.
And we've seen his excitement level rise on that sideline many times this season. I've noticed even more so from the scorer's table on the opposite side of the floor. He gets animated over there sometimes. His players like it. As that ball swung around the perimeter, Latunji corner jump shot short, rebounded by Keener. Looks like Keener will run the offense for the Hawks now with Fusco on the bench, as that mid-range jump shot by Blair is no good, rebounded by the Dolphins. Here comes Adeola Latunji. Latunji looks to take it all the way, and he went up over a pair of Hawks defenders but draws the foul.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Adeola trying to get himself involved in the offense here. He has 1 basket in the early going, and now he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Adeola, a 69% free throw shooter.
And that is the Dolphins' first free throw attempt of this game.
Along with 20 Matt Franks.
Latunji, 1 more upcoming. And that free throw is good. Dolphins lead is 9, just over 12 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Keener defended by Bracic. Franks picks up his dribble, fires a pass into the corner, and looking inside was Fusco. That pass was tipped out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Hawks. To shoot. Collins fires a 3. That's way off. That caught nothing but glass. Bracic looking for Latunji. Dangerous pass, and it will result in a Dolphins turnover.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Joe. That time a dangerous pass results in a turnover. Dolphins have played well here offensively, but turned the ball over on that possession.
That is turnover number 3 for CSI in this game. 2 for the Hawks. Fusco surveys the floor. He's defended by Savage. He picks up his dribble, looking for somewhere to go. Gives it up inside to Lukac, and he converts. Tunji up to Savage, and that was an alley-oop pass attempt to Stephen Flagg. Not often you see alley-oops thrown overhead like that, and that ball sailed well over the outstretched arms of Stephen Flagg, out of bounds for the 4th Dolphins turnover. And we've seen some lazy passes by the Hawks, allowing the Dolphins to get in the passing lanes and easily tip the ball. A couple of those have resulted in turnovers. Mamadou Saku enters for the Hawks, replacing George Keener at that last horn. Once again, the ball beyond the arc, under 10 on the shot clock. Lukacs on the drive, goes up with the left hand and draws the foul.
So Latunji will pick up his first. The Dolphins now have 14 fouls, and it will result in another couple of free throws coming up here for the Hawks. Lukacs will go to the line where he's a 67% free throw shooter.
And he knocks down the first. One more upcoming. And the second will roll up and over the backboard. Taylor brings it up for the Dolphins. Gives it up to Savage. Hand off to Flagg. Swings it to Taylor, who drives, finds Savage on the perimeter, declines to shoot. Hand off to Latunji. Fires it over to Taylor, under 10 on the shot clock. That pass through the hands of Latunji. 5 to shoot, and he goes over the center court line. Backcourt violation called against the Dolphins.
The Dolphins starting to get a little careless with the basketball, Joe. That's 3 times in a row, and it's going to be a 30-second timeout taken here by the Dolphins.
We'll stay right here, and you mentioned it in your keys to the game, Mike. The Dolphins have to avoid the turnovers, and thus far they haven't done it. After a pretty good start to the game, they now have 5 turnovers here in this first half, and that's allowed the Hawks to creep a bit closer. Dolphins got off to a very strong start, especially from beyond the arc, but it seems as if over the last couple of minutes, it has been the Hawks who have gained the momentum in this first half.
Yeah, so the Hawks cutting the Dolphin lead down to 6 points, and you know, we mentioned earlier, Joe, what a big game this is in the QDX standings. With a win here today, Dolphins can remain a game ahead in front against Baruch College, really eliminate Hunter College from out of the top 2, and it would force the Dolphins to lose in their final couple of games for Baruch to be able to edge them out. So big game, a big remaining game here for the Dolphins.
This, of course, the final home game on the men's basketball schedule this year. One more game was added to the women's schedule over the last week against Yeshiva University. Pass inside for Gabadon. He's called for traveling.
Yeah, that time Gabadon tried to gather himself but shuffled his feet, got called for the travel. So this time it's the Hawks turning over the basketball.
Savage now has it, finds Flagg in the corner, giving Flagg space in that corner. As the recently checked in Rigo Destine puts up a 3, it's no good. Rebounded by the Hawks. Gabadon over to Lukacs. Lukacs looking to drive aggressively once again. Foul called before the shot.
Well, I thought he might have traveled, Joe, on the play before the foul was called, but instead it'll be another foul called on the Dolphins. They have 5 team fouls, just 1 foul here for the Hawks, so Hunter will get the inbound.
And I think I can say with a fair bit of confidence that he did travel, as it's Keener with the ball. Gives it up to Fusco. Hunter's done a lot of dribbling beyond the perimeter with less than 10 on the shot clock as Fusco takes it all the way to the basket. He traveled about 35 feet to the rim there and didn't meet any resistance inside.
Yeah, that was not a good job defensively that time by the Dolphins.
Savage looking for Spencer. in the high post. That pass knocked away. That's another Dolphins turnover.
Yeah, and this is the kind of offense, Joe, that we've seen out of the Dolphins lately, really struggling to maintain possession, and now they give up another layup right to the basket.
Strong take to the rim by Matt Franks, who finishes with the left hand. The Dolphins lead now trimmed to 2. 9 minutes remaining here in the first half as a travel is called against Rigo Destine. So another Dolphins turnover that will bring the CSI turnover number to 7.
Yeah, and Joe, it's not something that we mentioned in the keys of the game, but we could have. Dolphins just get no points off of their bench, Joe.
It has been a struggle for the CSI bench when they've gotten into games. As that pass inside sets up an easy layup for George Keener. Good body positioning there by Keener. And we are now tied at 20. Taylor attacks the rim, and I've said it time and time again. Great body control by Christian Taylor on that layup attempt. He hangs up in the air and finishes around the defender inside, contorting himself and giving himself a good look at the rim. As Franks looks to drive, kicks out into the left corner. That's a two-pointer by George Keener, no good. Rebounded by Adeola Latunji. Flag over to Taylor. He puts up the three, no good. Rebounded by Keener.
Yeah, that one a little off by Christian. Dolphins hold on to a 2-point lead.
The Hawks not looking to run off of Dolphin misses. They played a very methodical half-court game thus far. Lukac on the drive, floats one up with two hands, no good. Fights for the rebound, can't get it. Loose ball picked up by Eden Bracic.
Good hustle by Lukac.
Dolphins, on the other hand, looking to run off of the missed shot, and that one is rejected by Franks, but it goes right back to Christian Taylor, who finishes through the contact and one. Taylor will go to the line for one more.
Beautiful alert play that time by Taylor, scooping up the block and laying it up, getting his 6th point of the game and an opportunity to open the Dolphin lead back up to 5 as we have an opportunity to see that replay. Flag's original shot blocked, Taylor staying with it, putting it up and in, and drawing the foul.
And what a huge momentum swing that could have been if the emphatic rejection by Franks sends the Hawks out in transition for an easy basket. They could have tied the game once again. Instead, the Dolphins extend their lead back up to 4. Taylor can make it 5 here, and he does not. So Taylor can't convert on the free throw attempt. Dolphins lead remains 4, just over 7.5 minutes to go here in the first half. And that bounce pass, an errant pass from Matt Franks, gets away from James Blair. That will be the 4th Hawks turnover, and it is Dolphins ball. Rossiter has it, gives it up to Flag. Looks to kick it back out. Another dangerous pass. We've seen several of those now from both teams. As Latunji finds Flag in the corner, he puts up the 3 and knocks it down.
Boy, it's been a long time, but Flag buries the 3-pointer and opens the Dolphin lead back up to 7.
We've seen Flag looking to expand his range beyond the arc. We've often heard opposing coaches telling their players to look for the drive whenever Flag has the ball. He keeps the defense honest with shots like that. Fusco looks to drive. Somehow got to the rim with 2 steps there. I'm not sure how. As Flag drives to his right, a lot of contact. Flag goes down and rejects the extended hand of James Blair, who looked to help him up on the play. Don't know about that when your team's in transition. Blair hands off to Keener. And an acrobatic finish by George Keener, who has shown a great ability to finish around the rim.
Yeah, Keener with 9 of the 22 Hawk points, keeping him in the game. They're down by 5.
Keener 3 of 6 from the field as Latunji goes up with a wild shot. He's stifled inside. Fusco quickly back up the floor. That ball nearly found its way in as he went up with a wild shot through the contact. Draws the foul. And the foul's on Rob Rossiter. That's his 2nd personal. Rossiter often finds himself in foul trouble. Now has 2 personals.
Yeah, he does so once again, and that's going to send Hunter College back to the free throw line. Hunter 3 of 5 from the line so far here tonight.
Fusco can't connect on the first, as there will be a substitution for the Dolphins.
We have an opportunity to see that beautiful scoop-in layup that time by Keener over Flag. One more free throw upcoming here for the Hawks.
It was Spencer for Rossiter at the last horn, and Fusco connects on the second free throw as Matt Stroud replaces Danny Fusco. 27-23 our score, just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Dolphins' final home game of the season here tonight. On Senior Day, Eden Brocic and Ray Savage honored before the game. Latunji has it left wing, looks to drive baseline, finds Spencer with a nice pass, and he converts the and one.
You wonder where Latunji was able to find Spencer, and then Spencer got hit with the body, but able to lay it up and in. Nice offensive play by the Dolphins. They needed it, Joe. The Hawks had cut the Dolphin lead down to 4.
Good vision by Latunji as he was surrounded by Hawks defenders, really trapped on the baseline. Didn't have much room between he and the boundary, but was able to find Spencer underneath, who draws the contact and finishes through it. Dolphins lead now 6. Spencer could not convert the and one. Once again, the Hawks just throwing a reckless pass that's swatted away, this time by Jade Spencer. The Dolphins, once again, have done a great job in the passing lane so far tonight.
Yeah, nice job that time. Hawks fortunate to maintain possession with 15 to shoot.
Stroud inbounds to Keener. Ball swung around the perimeter, finds its way to Collins. Collins wants a clear out on that left side. Taylor nearly comes away with a steal. Another reckless pass nearly stolen by Latunji. Turnaround jumper by Lukac is way short. Shot clock violation.
Good defense by the Dolphins, once again forcing the shot clock violation, so now the Hawks turn the ball over once again.
The Dolphins' intensity has been there at the defensive end in this first half. Under 5 minutes to go in half number 1. The Dolphins' lead is 6. Brocic, corner three is good. Eden Brocic connects once again from downtown.
Yeah, Dolphins now open their lead back up to 9, Joe. 4:40 remaining in the first half.
Lukac gives it up to Stroud. Collins back to Stroud. Stroud's double teamed on the right baseline. Finds a wide open Collins for three. It's no good. Rebounded by Blair.
Bad break for the Dolphins. Long rebound able to be grabbed by Hunter Collins.
Stroud working against Latunji on the right wing. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Blair hands off to Lukac. Lukac driving on Flag. Goes up through a double team and draws the foul.
Boy, that time Lukac just barreled into Flag with his elbow extended. Could have easily been an offensive foul called. Instead, Flag's going to pick up the foul. That'll be his first. Dolphins now with 17 fouls, so that's going to send Hunter Collins, Lukac to the line to shoot 2.
And that free throw is way short. As Gio Gabadon returns, replacing Melvin Collins.
Hunter College struggling from the free throw line a little bit here this afternoon, now 4 of 8.
And those free throws could prove big, as we've spoken time and time again about points left at the line, as Brocic knocks down another three, this time from the top of the arc. We've seen Eden Brocic connect from the wing, from the corner, and now the top of the three-point arc, his third three-pointer of the game.
He's 3 for 4 from the three-point line.
And a tough shot knocked down by Matt Stroud off the dribble from mid-range. That shot well contested. Taylor looks to drive. He's cut off by a pair of Hawks defenders. Now finds his way inside. Kicks out to Flag. Right wing three. Off the back rim, no good. Latunji fighting for the rebound with a pair of Hawks. Tips it up in the air to himself. Comes away with it, but can't connect. And gets his own rebound on what looked like an air ball. Perhaps it was called a block. If not, that's a travel. But Latunji does come away with the loose ball, whether it was blocked or rebounded off of his own miss. And that will send him to the line as he draws the foul.
Yeah, and even with the miss, Latunji gets the crowd up on their feet, Joe. A lot of excitement. And now he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Adiola hits the first. He's now 3 of 3 from the line as you have an opportunity to see that Bracic three-pointer.
There's often no shortage of excitement when a play involves Adiola Latunji. Definitely an energizing player for this Dolphins team. We've seen him play above the rim, but his tenacity on the glass also gets the crowd going as well, and you heard that right there. Dolphins lead is 11 as Latunji goes 1 of 2 from the line.
Dolphins now 3 of 6 from the line.
Open 3 for Gabadon. No good. Tipped up toward the rim. That one rims out. It's rebounded by Flagg. Dolphins looking to move quickly in transition once again. Fans wanted Flagg to shoot that three-pointer. Finds Latunji in the corner. He drives. And a blocking foul is called. That foul charged to Gabadon.
Well, the fans might want Flagg to take the three-pointer, and he's done pretty well, Joe, shooting, just 25%, so I'm sure the coaches don't want him taking it.
There's been an uptick in his percentage from beyond the arc recently. But he's such a good finisher around the rim. He needs to keep the defense honest. Once in a while, if he's open, I'm sure the coaches don't want him taking that three-pointer early in the possession, and he didn't. So smart play from Flagg, who heads to the bench. Ray Savage enters for the Dolphins as Latunji has one more free throw upcoming. And the second free throw is good.
So the Dolphins lead by 13, Joe. That's their biggest lead of the game.
Dolphins with a strong start to this game. Haven't started very strongly in their recent games here at the Tank as George Keener once again finishes around the rim. A lot of those looks have come far too easily inside. Bracic thought about the three, and that is a tough call. Bracic with his back to the defender, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Boy, there's been that kind of contact on almost every play. That's a foul on Bracic for Eden. That's his first. Dolphins with 18 fouls. So Hunter College with the ball, down 11.
Fusco working against Savage at the top of the arc. Gives it up to Keener. He's been the hot hand for the Hawks since the early going. And looking for Lukacs in the corner. Keener has his pass intercepted. Here comes Taylor. Finds Savage, wide open for three. No good. Rebounded by Keener. Here come the Hawks. They haven't looked to run much, and they will not look to run here. Very methodical half-court offense by Hunter College, due in part to the Dolphins getting back defensively in transition situations, but the Hawks really haven't looked to push the tempo at all in this game. Fusco gives it up to Franks inside. Franks working against Spencer, and a nice finish there on the hook shot by Matt Franks.
So Hunter College, which is trailed by as many as 13, a little bit of a run, to cut the Dolphin lead down to 9.
Here comes Christian Taylor, and that would have been an impressive finish by Taylor, as that was a left-handed attempt inside, hung up in the air and couldn't finish off glass. It rims out. 1 minute to go in the first half, as once again Eden Bracic in the passing lane nearly came up with another steal. Rigo Destine returns for CSI, replacing Eden Bracic with just under a minute to go in the first half. As a foul was called, looks like away from the ball. It will be a 1-and-1 opportunity for the Hawks. Blendi Ebraj will go to the line for Hunter College. The foul was charged to Christian Taylor of the Dolphins, his second personal, as Bracic quickly returns for Rigo Destine. So an offense-defense substitution. Dolphins looking to keep Bracic off the floor with 2 fouls. As that free throw is missed, rebounded by Lukacs, who goes up with a wild shot. Can't connect as Bracic fires another three, air ball. Rebounded by the Dolphins, And the putback attempt also no good. Loose ball off of the Dolphins. Possession goes to Hunter College, and Rigo Destine will replace Eden Brocic once again.
So a couple of opportunities for the Dolphins. They can't convert, so it's Hunter with the ball, down 9.
Fusco working against Savage, about a 9-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And that pass nearly went out of bounds. Ebraj able to corral it. 2 on the shot clock for Franks. And traveling is called before the shot clock expired.
Yeah, I thought Matt might have gotten away with the travel on the last basket he was able to get. That time he gets called for the turnover. So the Dolphins with the basketball. 9.9 seconds remaining, and the Dolphins lead by 9.
More offense-defense substitutions for both teams with just under 10 seconds to go in the first half.
Both teams shooting just a shade under 45% from the field in this first half.
Here comes Taylor. And a foul was called, so Hawks had a foul to give. They use it wisely as Taylor was traveling toward the basket with a full head of steam. Dolphins will have 4.6 following this inbounds pass. Taylor is positioned far into the backcourt. The inbound is to Brocic. He was looking for Taylor, following behind him. Under a second, and that shot will not count. And that's how we end the first half. It's CSI 38, Hunter College 29. And it looks like we will quickly be joined by Dolphins head coach, TJ Tibbs. Coach, good first half for you guys at the offensive end. You had 9 assists on 13 made shots. What did you see from your team on the offensive end?
I seen we're looking to share the ball. We're getting some movement. Eden Brocic is shooting pretty well. We're attacking the basket, which is good. We're getting out. Starting with our defense, and we're getting out. We're pushing the ball. See some things. We got to play a little bit better defense, but Hunter's doing a great job as well.
Well, on the topic of defense, over half of Hunter's points were in the paint. 16 of their 29 points came inside. George Keener was 5 of 8, had some strong finishes around the rim. How do you slow the Hawks down in the paint?
Better one-on-one defense. Keener's a great player. They have a bunch of good players over there. We got to make sure we stay in front, we get low, we keep them out of the paint. It's a little bit of test of mental will and, a little bit of fortitude. Just got to get down in the stance and guard these guys one-on-one.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Best of luck in the second half.
Thanks for having me.
That is Dolphins men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs joining us just prior to the start of the halftime break. So with it being halftime, Mike and I will step aside for a few minutes and rejoin you prior to the start of half number 2. Our score at halftime, the Dolphins 38, Hawks 29. We'll be back with more NCAA Division III CUNYAC men's basketball here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom. Dear.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom. Dear.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And we're back here from the tank. About 5.5 minutes to go until the start of the second half. Dolphins lead at halftime is 9. Our score, CSI 38, Hunter 29. And Mike, we do have some first half stats for our viewers. And taking a look across the stat line very quickly, these two teams had very similar numbers in that first half.
Yeah, you know, Joe, they really did. The Dolphins 13 of 29, 45%. Hunter 12 of 27, 44%. Dolphins' big advantage at the three-point line. That's the difference in the game. Dolphins 7 of 15. Hunter just 1 of 5. And at the free throw line, Dolphins 5 of 8. Hunter 4 of 10. Rebounding pretty even. Turnovers pretty even. So a pretty good first half for the Dolphins, Joe. They find themselves leading at halftime by 9 points. Of course, they have led by as many in this game as 13. Hunter College scoring the final 4 points of the first half.
And Hunter College in that first half, as you see on your screenshot, 12 of 27 to 13 of 29 for the Dolphins. But as I mentioned in my interview with Dolphins head coach TJ Tibbs, Hunter scored over half of their points in the paint. 16 of their 29 points came inside, and George Keener was a big part of that for Hunter College in that first half for the Hawks. Keener was 5 of 8 from the field, had 11 points, and was 1 of 1 from the free throw line, converting on an and one through contact, and then, of course, hitting the free throw, his lone free throw attempt in that first half.
Yeah, and, you know, you look at the turnovers. We mentioned the Dolphins with 8, 7 just for Hunter College. As we have an opportunity to take a look at a couple of replays. First, you see the Taylor miss. Latunji following it up with the jam for Adiola. That was 2 of his 7 points in that first half.
We also have some highlights from Hunter College in that first half, as well as I was just referring to the points in the paint scored by Hunter College. You get a look at this layup attempt through contact by George Keener. I looked away for a moment, was surprised after I heard the sound of the whistle that Keener was even able to get a shot up in that situation, but great body control by Keener, much like what we've seen from Christian Taylor, as you'll get a look at Keener once again. That's a difficult finish in that body position from that angle with the underhand scoop, and that's just 2 examples of the work George Keener has done for the Hawks inside in this game.
Yeah, that was a finger roll, Dr. J style from the 70s and 80s there, as he was able to lay that up over flag, and Keeler finishing with 11 of the 29 Hawk points.
The Dolphins also played very well offensively in that first half, moved the ball very well. Here's just one example, as Adiola Latunji is trapped by 2 defenders along the baseline, somehow finds Jade Spencer, who was well defended himself. Spencer finishes through the contact, couldn't connect on the free throw, though he does convert on the basket. Also for the Dolphins in that first half, they got the job done from beyond the arc, as you see yet another assist on a made basket by the Dolphins. This time it's Eden Bracic for 3 in that first half. Bracic was 3 of 5 from downtown.
Yeah, and 7 of 15 shooting from the three-point line is something any coach is going to love, Joe. Dolphins coming in shooting just under 47% from the three-point line in that first half. And, you You know, the Dolphins coming out and playing a pretty good half. Joe scored 38 points. Got the offense a little bit better on track here so far tonight.
We've spoken about the offense for both teams. Let's quickly touch on the defense. First for the Dolphins, as we heard head coach TJ Tibbs tell us, he's looking for his team to play better one-on-one defense, and often that leads to cutting down driving lanes for the ball handler. That's really what it comes down to, containing your defender at the perimeter and not allowing him to easily drive past. We've seen that on a couple of occasions. Some shots inside for Hunter have come far too easily. I'm sure TJ Tibbs would like to see that problem eliminated here in the second half.
Yeah, and it's something you mentioned, Joe, where Hunter scored 16 of their 29 points from inside the paint. And like you mentioned, did a couple of plays where Hunter was able to just turn the corner, head toward the basket, and find nothing but open real estate right to the 10.
And if you're the Hawks here in the second half, in that first half, the Dolphins shot the ball very well from downtown. Hunter really seemed content with allowing the Dolphins to fire away threes from the outside. We saw a lot of resistance from the Hawks around the rim, not much coming easily for the Dolphins in the painted area. Here in the second half against the Dolphins team that really does a good job of finishing around the rim, what can Hunter College do to balance out, giving the Dolphins less space from three-point range and contesting them more strongly at the rim?
Well, you know, Joe, if you're Hunter College, I don't think you're that upset with the way the first half went. You come out, you find yourself down only 9 points, and, you know, if you're the Dolphins, you can't count on shooting 47% from the three-point line in the second half. So, you know, if you're the Dolphins, you want to try to get yourself some good looks, try to continue to play strong defensively, and Dolphins doing a pretty good job just turning the ball over 8 times in the first half. We'll try to look and see if they can force Hunter College to turn the ball over a little bit more.
And you made a great point there, Mike. The Dolphins can't count on shooting that well from downtown here in the second half, and you have to wonder if the Hawks will continue to remain content with allowing the Dolphins to put up outside shots, because in that first half, the Dolphins only scored 10 points in the paint, 21 points in that first half for the Dolphins coming from beyond the arc, another 5 coming from the free throw line. So points not scored from the three-point line or the free throw line. That's only 12 Dolphin points in this game. 10 of those came in the paint. So the Dolphins need to find more of a balance offensively, relying on the three ball heavily in that first half. Need to find more forms of offense here in the second half.
Yeah, and Hunter, as you mentioned, also, Joe, leaving a lot of points at the free throw line, just 4 of 10 in that first half.
And those 6 points could prove big, especially if the Dolphins cool off from three-point range, because you have to think if the Dolphins do cool off, this game will get much closer very quickly. Second half underway, and there's a quick three-point attempt by Eden Brocic, and the Dolphins come out here in the second half the same way they started the first half, with an Eden Brocic three-pointer.
Yeah, so Eden gets another three-pointer for the Dolphins.
Franks has it, hands off to Gabadon. Looks to drive, he's cut off by Flag. Fusco swings it to Gabadon. Gabadon finds Franks inside with a nice pass. And Matt Franks finishes at the rim off the nice feed.
Yeah, Franks is becoming the Hawk offense here in this latter stages of the first half, beginning of the second.
It took a precision pass to get him that inside position with room to finish at the rim, and a great pass from the corner as Rob Rossiter finds an opening in the middle. Off the pass from the right wing, can't connect on the mid-range shot, and those are some shots the Dolphins need to start falling. Fusco working against Taylor, gets into the paint, and a nice move there by Danny Fusco, who finishes with the hook.
Yeah, his second basket, he has 5. Dolphin lead down to 8.
Taylor at the top of the arc finds Latunji. Latunji works his way in toward the rim, goes up with a leaning jump shot off the back rim, no good, rebounded by the Hawks.
Latunji finishing with just 7 in that first half.
Franks gives it up to Gabadon. And you mentioned Latunji with only 7 in the first half. We thought the Dolphins would need a big game out of him, but the three-point shooting more than made up for Latunji only scoring 7. As Gabadon has a wide-open three-pointer, no good, rebounded by Taylor.
Hunter 1 of 6 from the three-point line.
Taylor looking for Latunji, cutting back door, but he commits the offensive foul.
Yeah, and I think that'll be on Taylor, and that's a big foul for Christian, Joe, because he now has 3.
Well, Taylor now with 3 fouls. You mentioned Adeola Latunji only had 7 at halftime. Christian Taylor only had 6, yet the Dolphins went into the half with the lead. Dolphins led 38-29 at the half. Our score now 41-33. Franks working inside once again. Got a good open look off the turnaround, but couldn't connect. Taylor over to Rossiter. It's defended by Gabadon. Bracic again for 3, and he knocks it down as Edin Bracic continues his hot shooting from three-point range.
Bracic with all 6 second-half points for the Dolphins.
Bracic now has 15 points in this game, 5 of 7 from the field, 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. Gabadon being given a lot of space by Stephen Flagg, doesn't look to shoot it. Franks does look to shoot over Rossiter, and that shot is in and out. Here comes Christian Taylor. Taylor over to Rossiter. Rossiter drives, puts up the shot over Franks, no good.
Tough shot by Rossiter, looking to work against a triple team on that one, Joe.
Lukacs with the ball. Gabadon gives it up to Fusco. Fusco finds Franks inside. Another great entry pass by the Hawks. We've seen 2 of those to Matt Franks inside here in this second half. Dolphins lead cut back down to 9. That was the halftime lead, and a timeout is called by the Hawks. It is a full timeout. We are going to stay right here with you through the full timeout. Mike, what have you seen from these 2 teams to open up the second half?
Well, you got to like the way that Hunter has been able to get the ball inside to Franks on the last couple of possessions, and you got to like the way Edin Bracic has been shooting the basketball for the Dolphins. Edin has 15, and that's as good a game as Edin has had for the Dolphins in quite some time. As a matter of fact, it's, I believe, going to be his high in conference games. Edin did have 20 points high in his career against Kane College last Martin Luther King Day in 2017. But here, Joe, in this 2017-18 season, Edin's high up till today was 14 in the game against York. So he has a season high this afternoon.
Well, we heard the fans making some noise for Edin Bracic during our senior night ceremony before the game. Bracic now making some noise on the court from beyond the arc. He is 5 of 7, as I just mentioned before, from three-point range. Those 7 three-pointers account for all of his field goal attempts, and you touched on it, Mike. The Hawks have done a great job featuring Matt Franks late in that first half, and now early in the second half, the entry passes to Franks have been on point. They've done a great job getting him the ball inside in great position to score. The Dolphins can't answer that with one-on-one defense. They'll have to do a better job of shielding Franks from the rim, maybe fronting him, but forcing Franks to play behind you hasn't helped them yet, as those passes, the entry passes I'm referring to, have been made right over the head of the Dolphins defenders looking to front Franks. So they may have to bring a double team on the back side of that pass going forward. We'll see if the Dolphins look to adjust. Savage has it for the Dolphins, defended by Collins. Bracic finds Rossiter. Rossiter had room to shoot, but that space was closed quickly by Franks. Fusco pulls it back out. Lukacs driving on Latunji, and that looked like an extra step, but Amir Lukacs finishes at the rim. No whistle. Dolphins lead down to 7.
Boy, hard to know what the officials were watching on that one. Looked like an extra step for sure.
It looked like Lukacs lost his footing as Bracic puts up the corner 3 and connects once again. That's 3 straight three-pointers to open the second half for Edin Bracic. 9 points in half number 2, 18 for the game, 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. Here comes Lukacs on the drive once again, and a nice finish there by Lukacs. We've seen some nice finishes from Amir Lukacs and George Keener in this game. Very acrobatic around the rim. 2 players do a great job of finishing inside for this Hawks team. Rossiter over to Latunji, who puts up a rare three-point attempt. Rebounded by Lukacs. Lukacs gives it up to Franks. Franks looks to go all the way, and he finishes through the contact and one. Count the basket. As the Dolphins foul, I believe, was charged to Adeola Latunji. It is Latunji's second, the team's second. Matt Franks to the charity stripe for one more.
Yeah, and the Dolphins getting destroyed inside the paint, Joe. Now being outscored 28-10 in the paint here this afternoon.
Well, at halftime, it was 16 of 29 Hunter points scored in the paint. And you just mentioned it, Mike. That number, or I should say percentage of points scored inside, has increased dramatically as the points in the paint total is now 28 of the 41 Hunter College points. Make it 42 Hunter points as they've trimmed the Dolphins' lead down to 5. And we spoke about it in the pregame. Second half letdown, something the Dolphins need to watch out for. And they're on the cusp of a letdown here in this second half as Flagg drives inside, can't finish, rebounded by the Hawks. Still plenty of time to go in the second half, of course, but the Dolphins did lead by 9 just over 5 minutes ago. That lead down to 5.
And Flagg once again struggling offensively, Joe. Just 3 points on the game.
Fusco wide open in the corner for 3, and he knocks it down. A rare three-pointer attempt made for the Hawks in this game. They haven't taken many from downtown. Only 7 attempts from three-point range for Hunter College. They've connected on 2 of those, and we said it at halftime. The difference is three-point shooting. The Dolphins 10 of 19 from beyond the arc, largely on the back of Eden Brocic, who is 6 of 8 on his own. But from the field, it's the Hawks who have a distinct advantage now. They've gotten their field goal percentage up to nearly 52%. The Dolphins sitting at 42, and that disparity in shooting has gotten the Hawks right back into this game.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, you look at the Dolphins, and they open their lead up to 41-29 as Eden Brocic hit the three-pointer to start the second half for the Dolphins. Since then, it's been Hunter College on a 16-6 run to cut the Dolphin lead down to 2. And the difference is Hunter getting the ball inside, getting high percentage shots. The Dolphins not doing that all afternoon, living by the three-point shot, Joe. And you live by the three-pointer, you could die by it too. And Dolphins, the first thing the Dolphins have to find a way to do is defend Hunter College inside the paint.
And we questioned whether or not the Dolphins could keep up their hot three-point shooting, and so far in this second half they have. But it hasn't been enough, as Hunter College has really exploited the Dolphins inside, have done a great job with their entry passes inside to Matt Franks. We've seen Amir Lukacs finish strongly around the rim. One finish he may have gotten away with an extra step, but that doesn't take away from the acrobatic nature of his layup attempts around the basket. And on the back of Franks and Lukacs, the Hawks are back to within 2 in the second half with just over 14 minutes to go as the Dolphins inbound, hoping to get back on track. More so defensively than at this end of the floor, as Christian Taylor knocks down the mid-range jump shot.
Big jumper there by Taylor to open the Dolphin lead back to 4.
Dolphins looking to slow the Hunter College momentum. It's been all Hunter here in the second half as Fusco knocks down another 3. That's back-to-back three-pointers for Fusco. And if the Hawks can get going from beyond the arc, the Dolphins might find themselves in a lot of trouble at the defensive end. Taylor out to Savage, and the Dolphins continue their hot shooting from three-point range. This time it's Ray Savage who connects on his second three-pointer.
Sorry, Joe. Big basket by Savage. Hunter 8 of 11 from the field here in the second half.
Latunji over to Savage, and Savage blows the layup. And I think he took a look back at Latunji, wanted to throw an alley-oop, and that took his focus off the rim for just a moment, and I think that's what cost him the make. As Savage looks to move it up the floor quickly, finds Brocic, deep 3 left wing, just short off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Hawks. Gabadon defended closely by Latunji. Franks hands off to Fusco. Fusco beginning to heat up, and he finishes the scoop layup. That's just too easy, Mike.
Yeah, way too easy. He hit a couple of threes and then goes right to the basket. He now has 13 points, 10 in the second half.
And that's precisely the issue that I foresaw if Hunter could get going from downtown. And right there, 2 Dolphins players collide. It looks like they had the rebound, but Taylor and Brocic making contact with one another along the baseline, and that cost the Dolphins a possession as a pair of Hawks substitutions entered the game. I didn't catch who it was that came onto the floor. I think George Keener checked back in. As Gio Gabadon looks to drive. He's stifled by Spencer, and then through the contact, Gabadon finishes strong at the rim. The Hawks have gotten this game back to even. We're knotted up at 52.
And that's the first time we've been tied since the beginning of the game. Dolphins blowing all of their lead here in the second half.
Taylor knocks down the three-pointer. Waiting for the signal. And 2 points went up on the scoreboard for the Hawks. I think we have the wrong score up on the scoreboard, and indeed the score has changed. The score now 55-52 Dolphins. That is the correct score. As Keener looks to finish inside off the spin. Cannot. Rebounded by the Hawks. Gabadon goes right back up with it and gives the Hawks, or I should say brings the Hawks to within one as the scoreboard continues to play tricks on us. Bracic inside to Latunji. Had a wide open attempt in close. He's fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2.
Points in the paint now. Hunter College 34, CSI 10.
And CSI really needs to do a better job of defending the inside. That goes without saying after hearing those numbers, but thus far it has been a dominant performance offensively in the paint by Hunter, having their way with the interior defense of this Dolphins team.
18-0 points in the paint for Hunter College in the second half.
And that's remarkable. 18 points already inside here in half number 2. They only scored 16 in the paint in half number 1, so that number really impressive on the part of the Hunter College Hawks. But still the Dolphins are the team that leads in this game. CSI's lead is 3. Here come the Hawks. Flashy pass there from Fusco over to Lukacs. And the Dolphins just can't corral the ball there along the baseline. That's a bad break for CSI.
Yeah, first, Joe, the Dolphins collide on the offensive end, trying to grab the rebound and knock the ball out of bounds. Then on the defensive end, an opportunity for the Dolphins to grab a rebound. Another miscommunication gives Hunter College the basketball.
Hunter looking for somewhere to go with that inbound. They find Keener. He spins and is rejected by Spencer. That's Spencer's second block in the last couple of minutes. That's the interior presence inside the Dolphins need defensively, and right now it looks like Jade Spencer will be the one to give it to them, as that's once again too easy as they find George Keener inside. Finishes easily.
Yeah, Hunter continues their layup drill here in the second half, Joe, to cut the Dolphin lead down to 1.
On that possession, Keener was defended by Ray Savage as the Dolphins turn it over. Here comes Fusco. Tries to look away Latunji, and Adiola was having none of it as he slaps that ball off the glass. Dolphins moving in transition. Hunter does a good job of getting back. Latunji looking to feed off the energy of that last play and take it right to the basket, but that's not necessarily the smart play, and the jump ball is awarded to Hunter College. So an energizing play there at the defensive end by Latunji. Look to carry that energy over to the offensive end and promptly turns it over.
Yeah, that was a nice defensive play by Latunji, but the Dolphins can't capitalize as they turn the ball over once again, and the trend line's all against the Dolphins here in the second half, Joe.
It's been a rough second half for CSI, and yet they still lead this game by 1 point. Franks was looking for Fusco backdoor, defended nicely by Savage. And a foul is called on Jade Spencer. That's his first personal. Only the third team foul for the Dolphins, so both teams in a good position in terms of the foul situation on each side. Lukacs has it. 10 on the shot clock. Fusco still about 35 feet away from the basket, maybe more. Lukacs back to the basket, 4 on the shot clock, working against Spencer. And I don't think he had any idea that there was a limited amount of time remaining on that shot clock, as it didn't look like Lukacs wanted to shoot the ball, and that's a 30-second violation.
Yeah, you need your teammates on the bench to help you out on a play like that, Joe. Instead, the Dolphins forced the shot clock violation. Let's see if they can get something going offensively.
Savage has it. Fusco applies a bit of pressure. He's now bodying up Savage, and that pressure results in a Dolphins turnover. Gio Gabadon will return for the Hawks, replacing George Keener. Dolphins have done a good job limiting Keener here in the second half, but it's been Matt Franks who's gotten going, Danny Fusco with a couple of big three-pointers, as well as a finger roll in close. The offensive attack from the Hawks has come from a bunch of different sources, especially here in the second half, but it's been a good game for several players on the Hunter side. As Franks finds Ibraj in the left corner. His shot no good, ricochets out of bounds, Dolphins ball. For the Hawks in this game, Danny Fusco, 13 points. George Keener, 13 points. Matt Franks, 13 points. Gio Gabadon and Amer Lukacs adding 8 points and 7 points of their own, respectively. So a good offensive game for the Hunter starting five. Dolphins still leading by 1. 9 minutes to go in the second half. Taylor with 10 on the shot clock, drives inside, floats it up with one hand, rebounded by Flagg, immediately put one back up, but the rebound goes to the Hawks. The Dolphins have been pretty stagnant on offense, and once they stop getting those three-pointers, it's been a struggle. Fusco, step back jumper, and he knocks it down over Stephen Flagg to give the Hawks the lead.
Yeah, that's going to be the first lead of the afternoon here for Hunter College.
Fusco now the leading scorer for the Hawks. What a second half he's had. Latunji drives. Can't finish. Fight for the rebound. It goes to Christian Taylor. And he puts it back up and in. How big of a rebound and finish was that for the Dolphins and Christian Taylor as he looks to get going in this game, playing with some foul trouble. He has 3 personal fouls, has remained on the floor. Timeout is called by the Dolphins, and we'll stay right here with you through the timeout. Mike, the Dolphins now have a 1-point lead once again. What's the biggest thing that's changed for CSI here in the second half that's allowed Hunter back into the game?
Well, what's allowed Hunter back into the game is that Hunter is able to get the ball right inside the paint, and the Dolphins seem defenseless in being able to stop it. For the CSI Dolphins, they finally were able to get a couple of points in the paint on that last possession by Christian Taylor, but that was their first point in the paint. Hunter College, 36 points in the paint compared to just 12 points for the Dolphins. We mentioned that we thought Adeola Latunji might need a big game offensively for the Dolphins. He's just 1 of 8 from the field. Stephen Flagg just 1 of 7.
We just saw a big defensive play by Latunji right there on replay as he swatted that layup attempt by Danny Fusco off glass, sending the Dolphins in transition. Unfortunately, Latunji was tied up, and the jump ball that ensued was awarded to Hunter College as Keener puts up a 3 from the left corner. No good, rebounded by Flagg. Here comes Stephen Flagg moving ahead with speed. Bounce pass inside to Rob Rossiter, and he's fouled from behind by Lukacs.
So Rossiter able to draw the foul, and he hasn't scored in a while either, Joe. And, you know, you look at the problems for the Dolphins, they're just struggling to score again. And, you know, it's been really that story for the Dolphins, really their last 4 or 5 games.
Well, you mentioned the lack of bench scoring for the Dolphins overall this season. Here in this game, Ray Savage has 6. Jade Spencer has 4. And that's it. The starting lineup, Stephen Flagg with 3, Adeola Latunji with 9, Eden Bracic with 18, all coming from three-point range. And Christian Taylor stepped up his game in the second half. He only had 6 in the entire first half. Now has 7 here in the second half. And the Dolphins will certainly need his offense down the stretch in this game as their lead is extended to 2 on that second free throw from Rossiter. And you said it too, Mike. The Dolphins really need Rossiter to get going as well. He has 7 points in 17 minutes. Got himself in some foul trouble earlier. We'll see if he can stay on the floor for the rest of this game. Gabadon defended by Flagg, kicks out to Franks. Franks now swings it to Keener. Keener back to Franks. He's stripped, winds up with Gabadon, and he finishes through the contact. Another strong finish inside by the Hawks. How many players have we attributed a strong finish to for Hunter College in this game? There, it's Gabadon. We've seen Matt Franks finish well, Amer Lukacs, George Keener, and Danny Fusco. This entire starting lineup of Hunter College, very strong offensively around the rim.
As Hunter retakes the lead here, Joe, it's another couple of points in the paint, 38-12 in favor of Hunter College.
It's been all Hunter College on the inside in this game. They haven't allowed the Dolphins much easily inside. Is right there. Stephen Flagg converts on the second chance opportunity. But that initial attempt, another difficult shot around the basket for the Dolphins. The Hawks have done a great job protecting the rim. The Dolphins have not. But the Dolphins able to force a turnover right there. A nice job defensively against Matt Franks by CSI on that possession, not allowing the Hawks to make an easy pass to him.
As Stephen Flagg gets his first basket of the second half, and he'll check out of the game with 5 points for the Dolphins, or actually just come over to the sideline. So hopefully they can get Flagg on track here for the last 6:50.
Bracic swings it to Rossiter. Back up to Bracic. Latunji fumbles the ball inside, and it's picked up by Gabadon. There have been a string of close conference games played here at the Tank over the last couple of weeks by this men's basketball team. This looks like it'll be another one of those as Fusco sees his three rattle in and out. Latunji losing the handle. Fusco dives on it. Franks dives on it. Now a pair of Hawks on top of the ball. I'm not sure how they can call this a jump ball. Official timeout on the floor. It looked like two Hawks were on top of that ball. But possession will stay with the Dolphins, as I think jump ball is indeed the call. So possession to the Dolphins. Latunji lost it, and then a pair of Hawks jumped on top of it. Fortunately for the Dolphins, the jump ball goes their way. Rossiter drives. And that's a blocking foul charged to Gio Gabadon. He can't believe it. But the Dolphins need a little bit more of that, an aggressive attacking of the rim. Try and draw some fouls, because right now they're not getting any easy looks inside. If they can draw some contact, maybe they can get to the free throw line and put some points up on the scoreboard that way, because the Dolphins have really struggled for offense here in the second half.
Yeah, they have, Joe, and they've had trouble getting the ball inside. Nice play by Rossiter. He'll now have 2 free throws, and he hits the first.
Lukacs returns. Gabadon checks out. I think Gabadon just picked up his 4th foul. Perhaps it was his 3rd. I'll check on that in just a moment. That was indeed Gabadon's 4th personal. So he heads to the bench with some foul trouble. That perhaps a break for the Dolphins as Rossiter connects on the second free throw. And he will promptly take a seat on the bench as Jade Spencer re-enters, and he immediately trots over to defend Matt Franks. Spencer's done a good job on Franks when called upon to defend him. We've seen him with a couple of blocks inside. Here comes Fusco, swings it to the corner. Up top to Collins, open 3 from the wing, and that's a big miss for the Hawks, who could have tied the game with that one. Taylor inside to Spencer, almost loses the grip on the ball. Kicks out to Bracic, wide open 3, and that one's an air ball. Good look for Bracic. He's been hitting those tonight. Can't connect there. Fusco to Franks. We've seen Franks hand off that ball many times from the high post. Fusco got tied up, swung it back out. Now it winds up with Franks. He works against Spencer, and a good move there by Matt Franks. And he's done some great work in the low post against the Dolphins here in this game. And you said it before, Mike, the Dolphins just have no answer.
Yeah, he just spun right that time right to the basket, and, very little resistance. Spencer a little undersized, but that brings Hunter back to within a point.
Well, I've said it many times before. A lot of players at this level don't have good footwork in the low post. You often don't see players at the collegiate level, especially Division III, work on their low post offensive game. Instead, a lot of players like to work on their dribble penetration, outside shooting, ball handling, and of course, they love the flashy athletic plays as well. But Matt Franks done a great job here tonight working in the low post, great footwork inside. The entry passes to him as well have been on point from this Hunter College team in the second half, and that's a large part of why they have found themselves right back in this game. And with 5:23 to go, the deficit is still only 1 point. The Dolphins, through all of their struggles defensively in the second half, and despite slowing down a great deal at the offensive end as well, still possessed the lead late in this game.
Yeah, and it really is amazing, Joe, when you think that Hunter College has outscored the Dolphins 40-14 in the paint, including 24-4 here in the second half.
And the outside shooting is the difference. We said it at halftime, and I'll say it again here. The Dolphins 10 of 14 from three-point range. The Hawks 6 of 12, a great number, but the Dolphins 4 additional made threes over the Hawks right now are a big reason why they're ahead, because looking across the stat sheet in many other areas outside of points in the paint, of course, these two teams very similar. 33-31 in favor of the Hawks on rebounds in this game, another area where these two teams are very close with one another. The Dolphins have looked to create some separation here as they turn the ball over once again. That's number 14.
Not a terrible pass that time for the turnover.
The turnover number is also very close coming out of that last timeout, as this entry pass to George Keener, and he finishes over a pair of Dolphins. What player on the floor for Hunter College right now, outside of Danny Fusco, hasn't looked to finish off the entry pass inside and done so effectively.
Boy, Dolphins caught a break on that one, Joe, as it looked like they were going to turn the ball over once again. Instead, Fusco got called for the foul, his first, the team's fourth. The Dolphins get to inbound, fortunate, down by 1.
And between Keener, Lukacs, Gabadon, and Franks, the Hawks have just dominated inside, and that dominance has continued. As Flagg puts up the corner three, no good. Rebound by Hunter College. Fusco pulls it back, thought about a three. Instead gives it up to Franks inside. Franks gives it back up to Fusco, and Fusco will pull it out once again. This methodical half-court approach has really benefited the Hawks here in the second half. In the first half, it was run-and-gun offense from the Dolphins, knocking down three-pointers, but the Hawks have slowed down the pace of this game in half number 2 to their benefit, as right there, Collins was halfway between shooting and passing. He turns it over as a blocking foul is called on Fusco. Latunji looked to go up with that shot. Instead, he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and Fusco a little upset with the call, but not sure what he's looking at there. He just really cut in front of Latunji and got in his way and got called for the foul. So Latunji will go to the line to shoot 2.
No doubt about that call, as Latunji connects on a big free throw to tie this game back up at 65.
He's got 10 points, Joe, but only 1 field goal from the floor here tonight.
You got to look at Latunji's line, and right there, that line looks pretty good. 10, 8, and 5 for Latunji in this game. He's been active, but you mentioned only 1 of 9 from the field. And we thought Latunji would be big for the Dolphins here tonight. Has gotten it done in other ways, but certainly hasn't been efficient from the field.
Latunji had his career high of 27 against Hunter in the first game.
Fusco on the drive. Foul called before the pass. And Fusco really had nowhere to go there along the baseline.
Yeah, he really got bailed out on that play, as that foul will be on Savage. That'll be his first, team's 5th, so now Hunter will inbound the basketball.
Both teams with 5 team fouls, 3:50 to go, as that one's deflected away, so the Hawks will try and inbound once again.
So now, Joe, the Dolphins have struggled in the late stages of the second half in these games recently. Let's see how they do. The final 3:50, they have a 1-point lead.
Gabadon to inbound, finds Franks, defended closely by Spencer. Keener working against Brocic, receives a screen from Franks, goes up with a wild shot inside, defended by 2 Dolphins, and CSI can't come away with the rebound. Shot clock did not reset. Franks misses badly on that jump shot, as a shot clock violation will be called. That attempt by Franks did not hit the rim.
Nice job by the officials that time, Joe, because the shot clock reset and the buzzer did not go off, but the call was made correctly. Dolphins with the ball in a 1-point lead.
Good officiating there. Nice prompt call by the referee to ensure no more time came off the clock, as the Dolphins lead remains 1. Big possession here, as that's nearly turned over. Latunji to Taylor in the left corner. Taylor drives, floats one up, no good, but he draws the foul. And that foul's on George Keener.
Dolphins very fortunate on that entry pass by Latunji. He was able to get the ball back, and now Taylor will go to the line. 2 big free throws coming up here for Taylor. He's now 1 of 2 from the line.
Big made free throw there as the Dolphins extend their lead to 2. They'd love to see that lead increase to 3. Give themselves some breathing room. The Hawks have heated up from downtown here in the second half after a very poor outside shooting performance in the first half. Dolphins lead indeed is extended to 3 by the 2 Taylor free throws. 3 minutes to go in the second half. Fusco looking inside. Finds Lukacs. Brings it back out. Will look to work against Latunji. Franks has it on the perimeter. And a bad pass there by Franks. As Ray Savage is all over that. Taylor up to Bracic. Deep three-pointer. And Bracic knocks it down again. A huge game for Edin Bracic as he knocks down his 7th three-pointer on 11 attempts. Bracic now has 21.
That's an all-time career high for Edin Bracic. That eclipses high of 20 points as you see that shot well from the NBA three-point line for Edin. Edin now with 21 points. Like we said, that breaks his high of 20 against Kane University back on January 16th, 2017. So on senior night here, Bracic gives the Dolphins a 6-point lead.
And where would the Dolphins be without Edin Bracic and his prowess from beyond the arc in this game? Without him, Christian Taylor, the Dolphins' leading scorer, at 15 points. But Adeola Latunji with only 11. We mentioned the other things Latunji has done, 9 of 10 from the line with 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and a pair of steals. But without Edin Bracic, the Dolphins would be in a world of trouble in this game. We mentioned how well the Dolphins have been shooting from three-point range, 14 of 18. But keep in mind that 7 of those 14 makes are from Edin Bracic in this game. And down the stretch, that shot is huge as it extends the Dolphins' lead to 6 with only 2.5 minutes to go in half number 2.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, you look at the Dolphins shooting from the three-point line today, 12 of 23, and it's really been what's kept them in the game, giving them a 6-point lead. Let's see if they can close out here in the last 2:35.
Well, I incorrectly gave you the free throws made and attempted by the Dolphins. The three-point numbers, 13 of 25, 7 of those 13 makes by Edin Bracic, 11 of those 25 attempts by Bracic. And once again, Matt Franks finishes far too easily inside. Very little resistance following the entry pass. Franks has 17.
Nice entry pass by Hunter to make it a 4-point game.
A much-needed quick basket for the Hawks as well. Very little time came off the clock. Taylor inside to Spencer, and that was a well-contested shot around the rim. Spencer was really stifled. That shot was incredibly difficult at best, as Keener was looking to get inside of Bracic. Nicely defended by Edin, who now forces Keener out to the perimeter. He picks up his dribble. Good harassing defense by Bracic, but the loose ball gathered by Gabadon, and that's just a tough break for the Dolphins as Edin Bracic defended that very well. The Dolphins couldn't come up with the loose ball.
Yeah, it was a tough play because it looked like Latunji was going to come away with the ball. Instead, he kind of got knocked off of it, and the ball bounced forward. Hunter able to get it and now get to go to the free throw line here.
And Gabadon misses a big free throw for the Hawks. I actually incorrectly gave you Hunter's free throw shooting instead of their three-point shooting before. Hunter was 6 of 12 from the free throw line earlier when I mentioned that statistic. They're now 6 of 13 following that miss from beyond the arc. They're 3 of 13 and make that now 6 of 14 from the line. 2 huge misses from the charity stripe by Gio Gabadon.
Wow, you're right, Joe.
They needed at least one of those to make it a one-possession game. Now it's an uphill battle for the Hawks, even should they stop the Dolphins here. Taylor splits the defense nicely, floats one up off the front of the rim, no good.
Big miss that time by Taylor. Good defense by Frank to alter the shot and grab the rebound.
That was great ball handling by Taylor. Split the 2 defenders who were looking to defend the pick and roll. Really, that's a wide open look for Taylor, a shot he typically connects on. Couldn't there. So the Dolphins' lead will remain 4. Exactly 1 minute to go in this game. And really, it's been the three-point shooting for the Dolphins. That's been the story from the get-go. Edin Bracic with a tremendous game, 7 of 11 from beyond the arc. He's accounted for 7 of the 13 Dolphin makes from downtown, 11 of the 25 attempts. And despite Hunter shooting 48% to the Dolphins' 40, the Dolphins have connected on 10 more three-pointers. That's the difference.
Yeah, it really is, Joe. And the Dolphins have been outscored 28-4 in the paint here in the second half. And, you know, you got to give the Dolphins credit. They've struggled a little bit defensively, but they kept working. They've been able to grind out a couple of baskets. That big three-pointer by Bracic to give the Dolphins the lead. Dolphins have led by as many as 13. Hunter has never led by more than a single point. 1 minute to go, Joe, and such a huge swing game in the standings. Not enough time to go through all the implications, but with a win here tonight, Hunter will drop out of a chance of finishing in the top 2, and the Dolphins will just have Baruch left to deal with as you have a chance to take a look at the standings on your screen.
Certainly a lot to play for both teams, and also a lot of time remaining in this game. A minute on the clock, 21 on the shot clock. So if Hunter scores here, they'll force the Dolphins to play offense on the next possession. The Dolphins won't be able to run the clock or wait for a Hawks foul. Fusco looking to drive. Gets by Savage, and what a finish by Fusco. The Euro step gets him all the way to the rim. Dolphins lead now 2.
Boy, Joe, that sure looked like 3 steps to the basket from here.
And that's something that we don't see called in many situations, both at the college level and in today's NBA. The Euro step has become such a prominent move that when a finish looks as clean as that one, you typically won't see it called. And in that situation, it was not. Whether or not it was a travel, I'm not sure. But either way, the Dolphins' lead is cut to 2.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, another pair of points in the paint for Hunter College as they continue to eat the Dolphins alive, 30-4 here in the second half.
And so many areas in this game have been so close. The points in the paint and the three-point shooting, really the outliers. Points off turnovers, 13-11 in favor of the Dolphins. Also, take a look at the turnovers, 14-12 in favor of the Dolphins, also very close. 15-12 on assists in favor of the Dolphins. Both teams really looking to run more of a half-court offense in the second half. The Dolphins were more run and gun in that first half, though the assist numbers in that first half for the Dolphins were very good. That a product of some easy transition baskets. A lot have made three-pointers as well. Here in the second half, a lot of the Hunter College baskets have been assists off of entry passes. So, as I said, 15-12 assists in favor of the Dolphins. Both teams have done a good job distributing the ball and distributing the scoring. Also, the rebounding numbers very similar, 38-33 in favor of the Hawks. Free throw shooting has been an area where the Dolphins have had a distinct advantage. 14 of 18 for CSI, 6 of 14 for the Hawks, including 2 huge misses by Gio Gabadon during his last trip to the line. So with 39.2 to go, the Dolphins' lead is 2, 18 on the shot clock. And Edin Bracic to inbound for CSI. Will throw it into the backcourt. They can do that in this situation. It's Christian Taylor who brings it up across the half-court line for the Dolphins, defended by Fusco. Rossiter had some space, doesn't shoot it. Bracic pull-up jump shot along the baseline, and he connects once again. Edin Bracic with a huge game here on senior night gives the Dolphins a 4-point lead. Under 20 seconds to go. Lukacs fires a 3 and knocks it down. 1-point game as the Dolphins allow a huge three-pointer. And if you're CSI, that is something you simply can't allow in that situation. Hawks pulled to within 1.
Yeah, and you know, that was the big opportunity for Hunter College to get themselves back in the game, and they hit the shot, and both teams with 6 fouls. So that means the Dolphins can inbound the ball, and that'll force CSI to hit the front end of a 1-and-1. So a big shot that time by Lukacs to make it a 1-point game, and it's been that kind of game all day long, Joe. Hunter College hurting the Dolphins inside, finally bury the three-pointer as you see Edin Bracic connect with his 22nd and 23rd points as Edin extends his career high to 23.
And what a sequence that was, as Bracic, who's been the hot hand for the Dolphins, the player that they've turned to for big shot after big shot, not only in this game, but here in the second half especially, comes through, knocks down the mid-range jump shot, and then at the other end, Amir Lukacs wide open for three. And if you're the Dolphins, you simply cannot allow that in that situation. It was Danny Fusco who attacked the rim hard. The defense completely collapsed on him, leaving Lukacs wide open in that left corner for three. So at best, the Hawks get the ball again down by one, should the Dolphins miss the front end of a 1-and-1. At worst, they get the ball again down by three. So the Hawks will have an opportunity to, at the very least, tie this game and potentially win it if the Dolphins miss a free throw or two.
Big shot by Lukacs, only a 22% three-point shooter coming into the game today, but that was a big one, Joe.
A huge three-pointer, and in a game where the team hasn't shot well from downtown, they desperately needed to see that one fall to remain in this game. And it will be Ray Savage who is fouled and sent to the free throw line. I believe Savage is a very good free throw shooter. You have that number right in front of you, Mike.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's shooting 88% coming into the game, but he's 28 of 32, Joe, and I remember one of those misses was a big miss down the stretch in one of these games. So a lot of pressure on Ray, a 1-and-1 coming up here. But either way, Hunter could find themselves down no more than one possession with 11.4 seconds remaining as he again misses the three-pointer, the free throw, and the Dolphins are going to commit a foul.
Unbelievable.
I think actually it's going to be a timeout on the floor.
By Hunter.
And I'm not sure if there's a foul or not.
I saw the official's arm raise. I did not see a timeout signal.
As we see Savage miss the front end of a 1-and-1. And, boy, I don't know why that's not a possession for the Dolphins. I didn't even see the timeout get called.
Well, there's a discrepancy right now in terms of the timeout. So I don't believe Hunter had a 30-second timeout left, which means this timeout will be changed to a full timeout. It is the final timeout for the Hawks. I thought I saw the official's arm go up, signaling foul.
Let's get a look at the replay here as Savage goes to the line to shoot the front end of a 1-and-1. The ball goes around the rim and out. It's grabbed by Franks. It's grabbed by Lukacs. The official's arm goes up, and I guess he's saying that he called a timeout on the play.
You could see him speaking to the official as he went down. Whether or not he had possession is a different story. 9.6 on the clock. Hawks trail by one. Fusco has it knocked away by Bracic, regains possession. Franks looks to drive. 3 on the game clock, blocked by Spencer. 0.5 remaining on the game clock. The Hawks might be looking for some more time added. Possession is awarded to the Dolphins, so a huge defensive play for Jade Spencer as he blocks that shot. The ball then ricochets off of presumably Matt Franks. And it is Dolphins basketball with 0.5 on the clock.
Let's get another look at this one, Joe, because my first impression was that it went off the Dolphins as Franks drives down the lane and the ball knocked out of bounds. And boy, oh boy, Joe, that was close.
It's off the Dolphins. Looking at that replay, I thought it was clearly off the Dolphins.
My first impression was that it was off the Dolphins. And let's see if our good broadcast engineer, Arthur Kapatanakis, could get us another replay on that one. But boy, oh boy, that was close, Joe.
We had a good look at it right there. It wasn't a slow motion look, but I thought with 100% certainty that it was off the Dolphins. I don't have the same angle the officials have from the baseline. They had a much clearer view of it than I do on that replay. But my initial instinct was out of bounds off the Dolphins.
Let's take another look as you see Franks fake the three-pointer. He actually got the step on Franks. A nice defensive job. Boy, oh boy.
It's close.
I thought that Lukacs touched it, and then Bracic might have made the last touch on the ball, but nonetheless, it will be Dolphin basketball. And, Joe, we can't talk enough about what a swing game in the standings this is. Let's get another look at the play as Franks drives down the lane. The ball is tipped away. Now watch Bracic touch it, and watch that last touch go off the ball.
It was a much tougher call than I initially thought. It was out of bounds off the Dolphins. They do not consult the replay, which we had, and that very well could be what wins the Dolphins the game. as that inbounds pass ricochets off of Stephen Flagg. Time expires. The Dolphins barely hang on and win this game by a single point. Our final score, CSI 73, Hunter 72.
Boy, oh boy, Joe, what a huge win there for the Dolphins. It's going to up their record to 11-3 in the conference. They remain down by 2 games against Lehman College. We don't have an update on the Baruch score for you, but Baruch will remain at least 1 loss behind the Dolphins. And, for the CSI Dolphins, that at a minimum would clinch a home game should the Dolphins be forced to play in the quarterfinal round, which would take place a week from Saturday. But now with a win in one of their last couple of games, can put themselves in a good position. Dolphins looking to get their final into the top 2 so they could get a first-round bye-in. Edin Bracic, Joe, finishing with a career-high 23 points on senior day, came up with the big shot down the stretch when the Dolphins needed it.
And it goes without saying that Edin Bracic is the hero of this game for the Dolphins, and he'll join us here on CSI Sportsnet as he saluted the crowd from center court along with fellow senior Ray Savage following a big Dolphins win. And Edin, you were lights out from three-point range. How'd you get going tonight?
Honestly, I brought my whole family here. I have my parents, all my cousins, friends, girlfriend, everybody's here. So they just really, and I have my friends watching back home. I had a few text me. I don't know if he's watching now. Nick Warmble, that's my boy. And he told me he scored 50. I didn't score 50, of course, but he helped me a lot.
Going into that last offensive possession for you guys, did you know when you caught the ball in that right corner that you wanted a shot in that situation? Were you looking to shoot the ball there?
Which possession was that, I'm sorry?
Your last offensive possession when you hit the mid-range pull-up.
Oh.
Right corner.
I didn't know. I heard the shot clock going down. I'm feeling good, so I was thinking I could hit it. I knew I could hit it.
And you finished with a career-high 23 points tonight, and the Dolphins got a big win. You have 2 games left against Brooklyn College and Lehman. What are you guys looking to do down the stretch?
We need to keep up the intensity like we just had. We played against Cabrini, tough team. We had great intensity, just didn't fall out the way we wanted to. We came to Hunter. Hunter came in. We could have played a little stronger, better, because we have our home crowd, but we're going into Brooklyn. We're going to have the same intensity and play just as strong.
Great atmosphere in the building.
Awesome.
Great game for you. Enjoy the rest of senior night.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Appreciate
for joining
it.
us.
I'll see you.
That is Edin Bracic, who scores a career high tonight, helps lead the Dolphins to a huge conference victory over Hunter College. The final line for Bracic in this game, 8 of 12 from the field, 7 of 11 from beyond the arc, 23 points. Dolphins win by 1, 73-72 over conference foe Hunter College. You said it before, Mike, a huge win for the Dolphins in terms of CUNYAC playoff positioning. They improved to 13-10 overall, 11-3 in the CUNYAC conference.
And Joe, you got to really give the CSI Dolphins a lot of credit. They were really struggling in the second half. Hunter College was continuously able to get the ball and pound it into the paint. Dolphins gave away their entire lead in the second half. Hunter was able to pull out at a couple of occasions by a single point, but it wasn't enough. A couple of big baskets by Edin Bracic down the stretch, a big three-pointer and a big two-point jumper from the baseline, and the College of Staten Island ups their record to 11-3 and puts themselves 1 game in front of Baruch College as they try to clinch that number 2 spot and get that first round bye.
And we'll just take a look at some quick final stats. Of course, our final 73-72 in favor of the Dolphins. CSI shoots 41% from the field on 23 of 56. Hunter at 49%. 31 of 63 from the field. It was the three-point shooting that made a huge difference in this one for the Dolphins. 52% from beyond the arc, only 29% from the Hawks. From the line, the Dolphins 14 of 19. The Hawks only 6 of 14 on the boards. Hunter College won that battle 39-34, but it is the Dolphins that ultimately win the game by a final score of 73-72. A pair of conference games remaining for the Dolphins against Brooklyn and Lehman. Those games to be played on Thursday and Saturday.
As you have an opportunity to look at that final sequence once again, and we should mention, Joe, that should the Dolphins not lose the next couple of games and end up with a quarterfinal game, this will be our final CUNYAC broadcast of the year. But tournament. Hopefully the Dolphins can advance through, win their second consecutive CUNYAC title, and then we can bring you NCAA coverage, because we may not be able to cover the CUNYAC tournament, but we can cover the NCAAs should the Dolphins make it.
And of course, we'd love to, but if this is indeed our final men's basketball broadcast of the season, it was a thrilling end to the 2017-2018 season here at the Tank as the Dolphins pick up the conference victory over the Hunter College Hawks by a final score of 73-72. Once again, this is our final scheduled men's basketball broadcast of the season. However, the Dolphins do have two final conference matchups on the road, as I mentioned, February 8th on Thursday against Brooklyn, and Saturday, February 10th against Lehman College. Still CUNYAC playoff positioning on the line in those matchups. And if you don't hear from us again, thank you for listening and thank you for watching all season long. Of course, we'll be back on the air for women's basketball on February 14th. That is 1 week from tomorrow, a 7 p.m. matchup against Yeshiva University, the final game of the women's basketball season. This has been Joe Foreman. For my broadcast partner, Mike Babuski, our engineer, Arthur Kapitanakis, and on camera tonight was Bobby Drake. We all thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Once again, our final score, the Dolphins 73 and the Hawks 72. Our next broadcast, women's basketball on February 14th as the Dolphins take on Yeshiva University. If you can attend the game, be sure to join us here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com for that broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you once again for watching and listening. This has been exclusive NCAA Division III men's basketball coverage here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.